How's it going, everyone? Happy Sunday, family fun day. Just got my chat going here. All right. I'm just going to share this so everyone knows that we are live. We're going to talk about some niche and keyword research tips today. Get that going. Let's see. Hey, Adrian, how are you doing, man? Just posting this on Facebook so everyone can jump over here. So if you got questions on niche and keyword research stuff, go ahead and post them, and we'll do like 30 minutes of Q&A on niche and keyword research. Man, I'm doing good. I ran 21 kilometers this morning for just part of the training, and I am feeling it. Legs are tired, back is tired. So I haven't run that long since I did my half marathon, my last one, like a couple years ago. So felt great to get it done, but man, I'm definitely kind of feeling it. Probably gonna be feeling it for a couple days. I have a feeling. Let me just share this link here. Let's share this to the... And, all right, who else is joining us so far? Make sure you say what's up. How are you doing? Where are my regulars at? Got one more place to share this inside the Facebook group so everyone knows we are good to go. All right. All right. Let's let me just work my screens. I see you have some goal in running. Yes, I'm doing my first full marathon, man. Coming up, I think it's December 10th is the exact date. So, just been, this is just part of the training. But it feels great to get something done like that. Like I said, I've never actually run 21 kilometers outside of running a race or running a proper marathon or half marathon. So it was kind of cool to run this for training. I think with the biggest thing wasn't so much I guess the condition definitely helped, but it's breaking that mental barrier of running for I think it took me like just under 2.5 hours. So just doing that consistently, and just breaking that mental barrier. So it's all good. Jessica James, how's it going? How many books you got? I got about 20, I think. I could probably, you know what? Why don't I just I'll count right now as we're just waiting for people to jump on here and get going. Um, so Aaron Brown, dude, I'm becoming a fan. I've signed up for your mailing list. Awesome. I know your course is on fiction. How can I apply it for fiction publishing? It's really all the same, man. Fiction publishing, you know, niche and keyword research might be a little different, but I think it's pretty much the same. You know, your description for fiction is going to be different. How you interact with your readers and the whole mindset of building an email list, it's a little different. But I know there's people who are primarily fiction publishers inside the blueprint. You know, with anything, you're probably, during your publishing journey, you're probably going to end up taking a couple courses. So don't be afraid if you're taking, like, you know, if you take the blueprint, then maybe you take Russ's or Carla's course, and, you know, but, you know, you'll probably take a couple different courses just to kind of learn different things, different techniques, right? Because everyone has their own way of doing it. Let me count out my books here. All right, first, how do you go per page? Let's do 50 per page. All right. Crustelo, I don't know how to say your name, but hey. All right, how many books do I have? This is actually, I was wondering this the other day. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh man, I messed up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 6, 7, 8. I got 28 books, Jessica James. 28 books. So, all right. Let's see what's some other questions here. How much do you get? How much do you get from the most profitable book? Oh man, that's a good question. Overall, my most profitable book was it was my fourth book. I paid like $70 to get it done, maybe 75 or so. And that book has netted me well over $10,000 by now. I stopped counting. Andy, my man. It's good to see you. I stopped counting, but that's probably definitely my most profitable book. I was able to get it written for extremely, like next to nothing. And that book, I just, you know, kind of went viral. Is that the right term? But it just kind of blew up. So that's my most profitable book overall. But my, how much do I expect off per book, or what the average is? I don't know. I'd have to get my VA to kind of track all those stats for me. It's actually probably a good idea. It'd be cool to see. All right, so we are going to focus on niche and keyword research, but I'm open to anything on Ask Ems. So you got questions, post them in the comments. I'll get to them eventually. Don't worry. Abby, how's it going? I think you might be a newbie. I don't know if I recognize your name, Abby. Hey, Mecca, what would your advice be to someone starting out? What should you start on first? My mother is a brilliant fiction author. That's cool. I bet your mother could probably really help point you in the right direction. I am new. And I'm looking to start publishing her books. She was diagnosed with leukemia. I have a feeling that's the blood disorder, if I'm not mistaken, in 2008, and put everything on hold while undergoing treatment. The books are all finished and just made a cover. Hey, so I guess the big thing, Abby, is you're looking to publish them. So you got to find out what keyword each book needs to be kind of focused on or ranked around. I think you said fiction somewhere. Yeah, fiction. So you just got to find out, okay, what, for this book, what's the keyword that I want, you want people to go after, right? What's the search term? So how do you want people to find your mother's book once it's published? What are they going to be typing in? If it's fiction, is it like, werewolf stories, something like that, right? So werewolf would be the keyword you want to kind of rank for. So once you figure that out, then it's really just following step by step. The first book's a fantasy, right? So fantasy could be massive, right? So you got to narrow it down, figure out exactly who are your readers, what are they going to be searching for on Amazon, and then make sure you can get in front of everyone else's books, so people can find your mom. So it really comes down to keyword research. Abby, if you haven't downloaded my 5-step blueprint, it's like my free guide. It should be in the description. It's one of the first links in the description of this video, but pretty much all my videos. And just sign up for you'll get on my mailing list. Sign up. It kind of goes into a bit more detail. You did perfect. So hopefully that would help. But then I'd say, hey, just grab a course. Of course, I focus on nonfiction, but you're still going to learn keyword and niche research. We're going to talk a bit about that today here, and or you could jump into what's my boy Russ's group. I'll put the link in here. Ambitious Types. So you can, he focuses on fiction. He has a free Facebook group. And you can dive in there and ask some questions as well. So, all right, niche and keyword research. All right, how long was that book that went viral? It's between 60 to 70 pages. Between 60 to 70 pages. Sometimes I see short books doing very well. I wonder how come. Because depending on who your market is, shorter books sell better, right? So it really just depends. Who's your end reader? You have to give them the type of book that they're looking for. Some niches, some niches, they want the more longer book, right? Some niches want a short story. So it really depends on your on who your end reader is, right? That's I think one of the overlooked things that a lot of people kind of forget about. All right, I'm trying to learn building an audience and an email list with MailChimp. Yes, that is such a key thing to do. I wrote down my interests, but nothing on my interest is profitable. What would be your advice searching new niches? All right, this is going to be the first thing we're going to talk about. Check the top 100 books and get some ideas. Okay, so let's talk about that. If you still have questions, try to keep them around niche and keyword research. I just like answering any questions though, so kind of go all over the place. But let's dive into the first question, and that's the reason I wanted to do this live stream on niche and keyword research was because somebody posted in my Facebook group that I wrote down 30 of my lists. It's 30 of my interests. None of them are profitable, or they're all in self-help, or this and that. And I remember going through this process myself and how frustrating it was because I kept coming up with all the same type of ideas. So here's the deal. The way I teach your niche and keyword research is not to go onto Amazon and look at what's selling the best. You can do that, but see, the challenge of doing that is this. If you go onto the bestsellers list and you go look to find the books that are doing the best on Amazon, right? The bestsellers. Here's the thing. You're brand new. You're going to publish your first book. Your first couple books are not going to be the best, right? That's just, right? You lack experience, right? Watch my video, Why Your Books Suck. You lack experience. It's okay. I've been there. Everyone starts off that way. So trying to compete with books that are in the best sellers list on Amazon is something you can't do in this day and age. Now, can you get lucky? Of course you can, right? There's always going to be the exceptions. But that method works so much better back in 2014, 2015, and prior. Because Amazon wasn't as competitive, or at least the Kindle industry wasn't as competitive as it is now. So going into the bestsellers list and trying to find your ideas is not going to get you into the best thing. Now, what's the caveat on that? You can go into the bestsellers list and look for ideas to kind of brainstorm and put on paper and brainstorm and, to get you going. But the way I've done it is I just wrote down a list of all my interests, all the things I enjoyed doing. And here's the thing: if you're thinking about only self-help stuff, you're just tunnel vision right now, right? That's the whole making money online, and everyone talks about self-help and personal development. You got to break away from that. Break away from that. Like, break away from it. And you got to think about, what are you actually interested in? No one's actually only interested in self-help. You're just in that mode right now, and you just have to break away from it. So think about what you used to do as a kid. What did you used to do? What do you do when you hang out with your friends? What do you talk about when you're not talking about self-help? Right? What do you talk about when you're in school? What do you talk about at work? What are your favorite shows about? You really have to think outside the box, because my first 3 books were all around the self-help stuff and weight loss. But when I started thinking outside the box is when everything changed for me. I did that 4th book, and then I just started doing books in that niche, and that has been the whole thing for me. That it's really, it's transformed my publishing business, because I've been able to kind of build a brand. I have an authority on Amazon for it. I don't have to publish a ton of books to make $2 to $3 grand a month on Kindle, right? Or I should say on publishing now, because I made I did $1,000 in revenue off of Amazon last month. So it just say publishing business. So it's write down your lists and just really force yourself to think outside the box. This is a process that literally could take you a week, because you're going to cross off so many. And then the second part of this is, okay, when you start checking these ideas on Amazon, right? Remember, most niches on Amazon will be profitable. Most niches will be profitable, but not all keywords are going to be profitable. Okay? So, right, if you, for example, weight loss, profitable? Is it profitable? Yes or no? Like, blow up the comments. Is weight loss a profitable niche to get into? And if you don't know, just put "you don't know" in the yes it is. Okay, thank you, Adrian. Anyone else still around? Okay, so weight loss, it is a profitable, of course. Now, so that's a profitable niche. Now, what about the keyword? Weight loss for 80-year-olds. Do you think that's going to be profitable? Let me know in the comments. I have no idea if it is. I'm going to type it in and find out. So we can kind of do this live. What did I say? Weight loss for 80-year-olds, right? Yes. Okay. Probably not. Americans don't live till 80. Touche. Touche. I'm just thinking there's probably not a lot of weight loss for 80-year-olds. Okay, let's take a look. We didn't find any results for weight loss for 80-year-olds. Okay, so that is not, what does that mean? Does that mean weight loss is not profitable? No, it means the keyword, the search term, weight loss for 80-year-olds is not profitable. So what I'm getting at this is you have to think of multiple ways to search for your particular topic you want to publish a book about. So if we're doing weight loss, you got to think, okay, well, what are all the ways people are going to be typing in, or all the ways people are going to be searching for a weight loss book? They don't just type in weight loss. That's too generic. You have to niche down, sub-niche down, right? Maybe they're thinking about weight loss for, weight loss for Americans, weight loss for Mexicans, weight loss for Canadians, weight loss for Black people, right? Those are all different search terms that people could be searching for. One of those might be super profitable, but more importantly, one of those, you're niching down to a very, very specific market, and that is the key thing, because then you can start building a brand around that, right? So let's say it's like weight loss for Black people, okay? Then I might do, weight loss for Black people, like let's pretend it's profitable, no clue, okay? Then I might do, eating healthy for Black people. It's starting to sound really racist, but right. But I would start building a brand around that particular sub niche. That's really how you start building more of an authority on Amazon, right? And then you start creating books around that particular sub niche. And that's essentially what I started doing with those books that really started taking off there. I hope that makes some sense there. Let me know in the comments if there's questions, or we'll kind of keep talking about it when I just check what are some of these other questions. So Adrian says, I have a little hard time choosing my first niche to start with. Would you recommend going a weight loss or self-help? No, I don't. Not for your first 3 books, man. You really got to think outside the box more. I guarantee you have not thought about weight loss or self-help your entire life. Think about things that are outside the box that you enjoy doing. Now, why do you have to find something? Okay, let's talk about that. Why do you have to find something you enjoy doing? Or when should you just jump into a niche? Don't get so stuck up on, okay, I don't have a ton of passion around this particular niche. I'm kind of somewhat interested in it, but it seems profitable. If you have somewhat of a relative interest in it, just go for it. It doesn't have to be the end-all be-all. You're probably going to end up publishing books in like 3 or 4 different niches. And then you'll be like, you know what? This one's really taking off. And the more I think about it, the more interested I'm in it. Or more excited I'm about it. And you'll go into it. So don't get caught up on the fact that you're not super excited or super passionate about a particular niche. If you found one that you have somewhat of an interest in and it's profitable, just start publishing a book. Publish 1 or 2 books in it and just see what happens. So Adrian, hopefully that helps. But I would definitely advise you, I think you're on your first book, if I remember correctly, I would not start with weight loss or self-help. I would spend a bit more time figuring out a niche that is not going to be so mainstream, that's not going to be so competitive, so quote unquote saturated, for your first couple books there. Okay. Do you plan your day, week, months ahead for publishing books? Do you use tools for keyword research? Yes. I use a tool called Kindle Spy. I'll drop you guys. Actually, the link is in the description for that. I think there's like a discount if you use that link. So Kindle Spy is the tool I've used for my keyword research. Basically, what it's going to do is it's just going to save you time. It's going to give you all the results, all the important numbers you want to look at all at once, so at a glance, versus opening up multiple tabs and kind of going through one by one. Is it 100% necessary? Not at all. I didn't use it for my first few books. But it's like, hey, I think it's like $47 or something like that if you use the link. If you got the extra $50, go for it. But do you need it 100%? No, I'm not a believer in that. You need tools and gadgets for this business 100% at all. Most people will kind of promote them because they get paid affiliate sales from them. But hey, I didn't start using anything like that until my books actually started making a little bit of money. And I guess the first part to your question, do you plan your day and week, months ahead? Yeah, I'd love to say I do, but I don't. Mind you, on my main niche, we did plan out our next 3 books, because what I do now so this is a cool part about building an email list. Okay, so now what I do to determine what books I don't even look at keywords anymore, because I have such an authority in this niche. I don't have to look at keywords. I just use my list, and I email out my lists, and I do polls on Facebook and Twitter, and because social media is phenomenal to promote your book when you're building a brand. Okay, I just send them out. It's like, hey, what are the topics? Like, I'll send out like a poll on like 8 different books, and I'll say, which ones do you want to see published next? And I'll get the survey results, and I'll know exactly what are the next 8 books that my readers are interested in. And so it gives me a good idea of what the overall market is interested in, right? Because I have, my readers. And so I just published those books. So I told my writer, it's like, all right, so here's the next books that we need to go on. I'd like to have them all done by our goal's Black Friday, but it would probably go a little past it for one of the books. But so that's as far as as far as being organized for planning it out. Other than that, I'm just not organized enough for that. So, Randy, all right. How many months do your books bring in money before they die out? That's a great question, Ben. Why don't we take a look? Let me open up my Amazon account, and I'll take a look at my book from last year. I published it last November, and we'll kind of get an idea of what that book's doing this November, because it's almost a year old. All right, so let's see what it's doing. Okay, so what is that? So the last 30 days. Okay, $18 on KDP. Let me go check CreateSpace. So to kind of give you an idea, $18 on KDP for the ebooks. And it's done about $40 on CreateSpace. So not great, not the end of the world. But you know what? That does not count what I've sold through the Shopify store as well, because that'll yeah. So what is that? So what did I say for CreateSpace? Like $40, I think. Yeah, $40 plus. Okay, so 40, 20, $60. So let's say it's doing probably just under $100. So yeah, so it's like, whatever, probably closer to $70, $80, realistically. But that's books. So that book's about a year old. So it's still like, hey, you get a $70, $80 book that can keep making money 12 months later, and it's still bringing in about $70 to $80. Do that 10 times. Not bad. Like, it's right. So cool. Oops. You gotta see that on camera. It's kind of embarrassing. Okay. So Randy, does that answer your question? Just give me a yay or nay. All right. Adrian, okay, where are we? How long are your books? How much do you spend for one book? My books range between, I have no idea. I'm kind of at the point where like my last book, so this last book is like 200 pages. Right? 200 pages exactly. Okay. And I have no clue how many words are in there. For this niche, and I think I did a video with Dale, an interview, and I was like, I basically, because I hire my writers passion over profits. So you say, this is what we want to talk about. This is what my readers are looking for. I need you to just go to town on it and complete it. I don't care how long it is. I just need all this information in there the best way you see fit. And I really let my writers kind of dictate the flow and everything. But this is why I work with freelancers for this particular niche. It's a lot harder to do that if you're working with a company. But then companies have so many other benefits, right? Right now, why can't I produce more books? Because I have one person writing the books. And trying to get somebody else means I also have to have somebody who's going to, make sure the 2 books are kind of read in the same type of way, and so there's a lot of different plates to spin. But I don't know. That one's 200 pages. How much was the one that just came out? I think, yeah, the other one that just came out, I think it's about 130 pages. And these are also larger size books as well. So, and how much do I spend on books? I pay her $300. Pay her $300 per book. And we're just testing out some different formats and different things. So we're kind of on a flexible schedule or flexible pay scale right now because we're testing out different things. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, Ethan asks, hey, has anyone used KDP Rocket? Is it worth double the price of Kindle Spy? Actually, is it double the price? Okay, no, so it's completely different. KDP Rocket will not do your keyword research. KDP Rocket is extremely valuable for if you're going to do Amazon marketing services like AMS ads and stuff like that. That's when KDP Rocket really shines. I would not use KDP Rocket for keyword research. I do have it. I use it for the AMS stuff. So worth the $100 I think it is there. In fact, if you find, I don't even know if maybe there's a discount on it. There's Ethan, if you check out my interview with Dave Chesson, there's a link in the description. I can't remember if it's for KDP Rocket or if it's for his course, the free AMS course. Either way, if you click on it, I think you might be able to get a discount on KDP Rocket, but I'm not 100% sure. I can't remember how he has it set up. But that's my interview with Dave Chesson. So just look under the Ask a Pro interview series playlist on my channel. But yeah, no, they're definitely not similar tools. So I would use Kindle Spy. I would go with Kindle Spy first, 100% for your keyword research and stuff like that. And then, KDP Rocket once you get it slightly more advanced. Do you have a shelf at home? Actually, I'm framing all my books. I'm framing all my books. One day I will show them to you all, but just not right now because I'm still not, I feel like it's still too easy for somebody to come and just try to copy and just piss me off and, take a bigger piece of the pie than I'm willing to give up. But yeah, I'm going to have them all framed because you think about this, right? Kindle publishing has completely changed my life. And not just Kindle publishing, it's what I learned from doing Kindle publishing. Like the money, I'll be the first to admit, I don't make a ton with Kindle publishing. I make a couple grand a month. But I'm happy with that. I don't need, I'm not trying to scale up to 10 or 15 grand with Kindle. I have a bigger picture in mind. But man, these books, I love my niche. That's why I went out and I have a store with it. I got somebody to help manage my social media accounts with it. It's something I really enjoy it. So yeah, I'm framing all my books. And I recently just switched them all over I had matte covers and I just did glossy because my writer because I sent her all of them. And she's like, yeah, you should probably do glossy covers. It's going to look so much better. I'm like, oh man, love it. And so now I want to frame all the glossy ones. So I just got to reorder them all again. And I'll probably do a giveaway to my readers for all the matte covered ones, sign them, giveaway. Yes, people have actually asked me to sign the books. They've wanted signed copies. So it's kind of cool. Are you using this freelancer for your books? No, I just use a freelancer for the books. Another niche that I use a writing company, the one that I recommend inside the blueprint. For most books, I usually do a 4x6, Jorge. 4x6 size. No, not 4x6. Who am I kidding? 5x8, 5x8, 5x8. Right? Because this one is do I have a 5x8? This is your traditional book size. Yeah, I'm plugging it again, Expert Secrets. That's your traditional book size. 6x9. Okay. Millionaire booklet, where are you? And then, so a 5x8 book would be, 5x8. A little smaller, but the key thing of doing that is it'll be a lot thicker, right? So if this is a 6x9, a 5x8 would be that much thicker. So it's a bigger page count. When somebody orders it, feel like they're getting a lot more value from it because it's thicker. Okay, for your niche, the one with the writer, are you writing your books under one pen name in a series, such as, or just different topics in the niche? No, different topics. Different topics. So it's a wide range of different topics in the niche. Okay, if there's any other questions on niche and keyword research, make sure you jump it in there. What I said in the beginning were kind of the main things that I had on my mind that I really wanted to just help clear up, because that question has been coming up quite a bit in the group. But if there's any other questions, please put them in there, and I'll just keep going through these questions, but I'll spend more time on the niche and keyword questions as those come up. So your advice on the ABCs of launching your first book. I'm building a list and setting up a website. Would you focus on this first or finish editing the book and get it published first? Abby, that's a really, really great question. Okay, the website definitely would not focus on it at all. Building a list, 100% I would focus on that. Instead of the website, just do your Facebook fan page for an author, right? I think maybe, yeah, we were talking about your mom. So just do a Facebook fan page for your mom or her pen name, whatever it is, but do that. That's what I would do. I wouldn't waste time with a website yet. And I would do this while you're editing the book. Now, like setting up your Facebook page will take you like, what, 15 minutes? Not even. Super, super easy. Oh, look at that. Okay, you're already done. So build your list and get your book published. Just get it published and ready to rock and roll as soon as possible. How many books do I have? Man, I can't remember. Does somebody remember the number that I counted? I'm not going to count them again. I think it was 28. Now keep in mind, some of those are bundles. Some of those are actual bundles, right? So if you don't know how to bundle your books, I got a video on my channel about that. But so a decent amount of those are probably bundles, right? So I gotta count that. We're gonna find out that because 28. Thanks everyone. Let me just see how many are actual bundles, because that's a significant amount as well. Oh, you know what I was going to tell you guys? So earlier, somebody asked about my book from last year that's doing about $70 a month or so right now. I wanted to check the BSR on that as well, so we kind of have an idea. So let me just bring that up, just to kind of show you. Let's see what the BSR is. Give you the full information. Okay, hold on. I'm going to count bundles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10. So out of the 28 books, I have 10 bundles. So I have 18 actual books. All right, so the BSR for that book right now, it's 371. So not great. It's number 9 in one category, but it's 371 overall. Has 51 reviews. What's the average star here? Not like that really matters, does it? 3.6. And the BSR in the books, it's lower than in the Kindle store. It's 236, but that shows you because I sell a lot more paperbacks than I do the ebooks. Okay, let's see. How many mentors? Okay, so do you use Insta Freebie? John Smith. Hey, are you same John Smith from the swap group? Insta freebie, I believe, is really just for fiction. So I haven't experienced. I don't have any experience with that whatsoever. I think it's just for fiction publishers, so I don't use it. How many mentors do you have? That I pay? One. How many people do I like? I follow their stuff kind of religiously, and I'll listen to their stuff every day type of thing. Probably like a couple, but currently I pay one mentor right now. That's just, financially, that's all I can afford right now. So I pay one, it's $500 a month for one call a month and email access. Oh yeah, by the way, that's the best $500 I could be spending. Ethan. Have you used Google Trends, etc., for researching keywords at all due to use on other bookstores such as Google Play, or just used Amazon? I've just used Amazon myself. I know some people have used Google Trends. I think it's a smart thing if you're getting, it's a smart thing for some niches, I think. But I personally, I haven't played around with Google Trends, but it is, I think, something worth looking for. Or looking into. Sylvain? What's your opinion about a reasonable number of pages for a beginner's book? Go by words, and I'd say no less than 8,000 words. Try to do 10 if you really can. But 8 to 10,000. I wouldn't go any smaller in terms of word count for that. For the majority of nonfiction niches that people are going to be getting into. If you're into a kids market, right, it's going to be probably smaller, in terms of word count, but that's a bit different. So, how many keywords should I search for per one niche? As many as you can find, right? As many as you can find. You're going to stack all the different keywords based on the search results, and so yeah, find as many keywords as you can. I kind of do, I'll do like 3 to 4 books for the bottom level keywords, and then, maybe another 3 to 4 for the next level, and then 2 to 3, and so on. Yeah. How much do you pay for your covers to be done? I pay $15 if it's going to be complete from scratch. Meaning, like, I'm not sending it. I'm not like. This is why I use a freelancer from Upwork for covers, because I don't want to have to look for an image. I don't want to have to do anything. I just want to kind of say what's in my mind and for them to do all the work. So I pay $15 for ebook and for paperback. I pay $10 if I already have the ebook cover made, because my wife actually does some of my covers. And so she'll just whip up the ebook one, and then I pay him $10 to convert it, but $15 if it's just right from scratch. Have you gradually raised the price of your books after they've been on the market for a while, gain brand recognition, and enough reviews? Yes. I raised the price of all of my books lately because I wanted to price them lower on the store. So yeah. Yes, I definitely play around with the price for sure. Pricing is something you definitely need to pay attention to, because you can raise your price and Amazon will actually discount it but pay full royalties on it. So you can play around with that, and you can actually really increase your royalties substantially. Of course, you don't want to abuse it because, well, you just don't want to abuse anything. What other questions or things you run into with niche and keyword research that we can solve and take care of today while we're live? Now, I guess another thing is, should you ever publish books in the self-help weight loss category or cookbooks? And I think, yeah, once you're experienced, if you have an interest in that, I think definitely. But here's the thing, like with weight loss, I think, or the health and fitness, pen names are fine. I really think, though, if you're going to do self-help, I really think it would be smarter to do it with your own name. Because there's a good chance that if you want to get into self-help, maybe you're going to start a website or a blog or something like that, even if you just do a small, but you can just make so much more money off the back end of a self-help book than you can, versus just using a pen name. So that's just my thought, because we're thinking of my assistant, he was doing keyword research and he kept coming back with self-help stuff. And I'm like, if I do a self-help book, I don't want a pen name on it. I'd want to, have my name behind it, because it's something I'm interested in and it's something I'll be able to promote and everything. But, as said, we kind of moved in a different direction. So just thought, do you make regular or do you make a real or regular income every month? Do you need to have more bucks? Oh, to make a real or regular. So it all depends on what a real or regular income is, right? So earlier this year, I didn't publish books for about 3 months. Probably about 3 months. I didn't publish a single book. My income stayed relatively the same. It was somewhere between $2,000 to $3,000 US from publishing. So it really depends on once you've built a following and you have an email list, you can sell books without publishing books as often. If you're only relying on review swaps, you have to keep publishing books, because the reviews are going to get disappeared or taken down as the VA's accounts get closed. And there's no way for you to promote them. Like, you can do some AMS stuff, but that's not as strong as an email list. So if you're doing it the long game, which is kind of what I promote, I think, you don't have to keep publishing books. But if I don't publish books for a full year, I'm pretty sure sales are going to dwindle to, I don't know what they would end up dropping to. But just have an email list, because you have so much more control over your business. Ethan, when you give information to your writers, how much info do you provide them on niche keywords? General outline or an idea, or just for an example, say dog training for receivers, I'm guessing is what you meant. That's a good question. Give them as much info for as good of a book as you want. So if you say write a book for dog training for receivers, you're going to get a very, very generic plain book. Like, there's just no info there. You got to say, okay, I want a book. The topic is going to be dog training for receivers, retrievers. Oh my God, retrievers. And you're going to be like, so I want this written from this person's point of view. I want it to sound very authoritative. Or you're going to be like, so this book is going to be focused on, it needs to come from a very loving and coaxing, and you're a partner with your dog. You're really working with them. Versus the authority, it's like, no, you have to get your dog to do this, this, and this. So a lot of thought needs to go into it in order to get the type of books that you want. And that is what building a brand is all about, because then you can get your books written the same type of way. Because then if they're not just a generic book and they have a feel to it and they're written a certain way, that's what brings in readers. They relate to it more, right? Because there's more to it. So give as much info as you can. That's why it goes back to, it's like, you should have some sort of interest or knowledge on the topic you're going to write about. Especially if you want to kind of do this long term. If you're looking to make a couple grand and that's it, yeah, you can get away with putting out plain books. But like I'm telling you, it's gonna get harder and harder to get these type of plain books succeeding long term without having any sort of email list or any sort of following. So yeah, Hopefully, Ethan, hopefully that helps, my man. So glad you said that. Can't even remember what I said. Exactly what I'm doing with 2 self-help books I'm about to publish. Yvonne, awesome. Can't remember what I said, but it's all good. What do you think about the guitar niche? I know nothing about a guitar, except for it makes music. That's how good I'd be in that niche. Adrian, if you're excited about it, go for it. It's plain and simple, my man. John Smith, do you regret review swapping in the beginning? No. Do you think that was a huge advantage for you getting off the ground? I don't know. Like, look, the books. Here, I'll show you guys something. Let me find out. Where's my Amazon account? Look, the books that I'm going to compare it to we'll just do ebook sales, just because CreateSpace is kind of a pain for reports. I'm going to take a look at my sales from one pen name. There's similar amount of books. Okay, so one pen name, and let's look at sales. Okay, last 90 days. All right, sales last 90 days. For one pen name that I did review swaps with. Okay. So you guys got to remember this. So $572. So that was for pen names. For a pen name, I just did review swaps with. I haven't published a book in this niche for months. Okay. Can't even remember when the last time was. Probably early spring. Now let me check out the other one. Interesting. 596. What did I say? 570? 596. Okay. So let's take a look at the last 30 days. See if there's a difference. So 244 for the one without any review swaps. Let's look at the pen name for the other one. 124. So 244, 1. So double in the last 30 days. My sales have doubled with the one that I'm not doing any review swaps for. That's actually, I could probably do it. Where's my journal? I'm gonna take a look at this a little closer. See if I can do some sort of case study on this. Because that'd be kind of cool to kind of dive into, and I have to take a look at paperback sales, because paperback sales for both those I know are stronger, but it'd be interesting to see. But no, I don't regret review swapping in the beginning. It was one of those things that had to get done, because there's nobody's teaching another method right now other than you review swap in the beginning, unless the only people teaching other methods are the people who are writing the books themselves and they're doing self-promotion. Even myself, I have not started teaching my students. Okay, so like there's not a step-by-step. I'm documenting what I'm doing, and the smart ones are watching what I'm doing and just doing it. They're not waiting for lessons to come out, but there's not, I haven't done, okay, so step one, you can, budget $400 for ads. Step two is this, or whatever. Like there's no step-by-step program to do it without review swapping yet. I'm very open. I tell my students, swap for your first 3 books max. Swap for your first 3 books max. You'll be fine. And then aggressively build your email list while you're doing those 3 books. Because your 4th book, you need to launch it without doing any review swaps, and use your email list, use your advanced review team, and get serious. Because I really think that's the direction that publishing is going to be going. So, Abby, I know your expertise on nonfiction. Do you feel the strategies for keywords? Yeah, I think they're all pretty much the same. Keyword research is going to be the same for fiction, nonfiction. Maybe a couple little differences, but nothing that would using nonfiction keyword research is not going to hurt your success with fiction publishing. It's still done the same way. Marketing and connecting with your readers is a little different. Right? Like I said earlier, the descriptions, it's going to be a little different, but a lot of the basics are going to be the same for sure. We got some other questions? All right. If you want to wait to release your books until after you build a following, do you believe it's okay not review swap at all to avoid the risk of future Amazon problems? Yeah, like you totally can. Like Ethan, and this is what fiction publishers have got down so well. But there's so many platforms available for fiction publishers to get started and to build a following for that doesn't have to rely on review swaps. I'm just thinking, like, I ran Facebook ads to very, very targeted people that were, going to be my readers, and I was paying about $1 a lead. Now, is that a little high? I think it's a little high, but you keep in mind, they buy an ebook from you, you've profited, right? But then you have to have an email system in place to be able to email them and market to them over and over and over again in order to get going. So there's that method that I know works right now for nonfiction publishers, but that's also an extra expense, like quite a bit up front. So that's just why I haven't started teaching my students or started promoting it yet, because I'm still trying to find, like, okay, are there any other ways? But the number one thing I think that's going to make the biggest difference is you really got to define who your customer is, who your reader is, what's your customer avatar, so to speak. Define who that is, niche it down, and then go after them and go where they are. That's what I've done with one of my niches, and it's worked phenomenal. That's why social media works for me. If you're just generic, doing a generic whatever, I don't follow generic anything, right? Like people follow stuff that's niche down or that has a specific interest to them. That's what people want to follow. So you gotta be willing to kind of build that and put the time and the effort in to build that. So yeah, hopefully that helps. Is there a problem with the Kindle category in Amazon right now? Keeps showing results for all departments. You cannot specifically filter. Clear your cache and clear your history, and it'll fix up that problem. It's one of those weird computer things. But yeah, clear your cache, clear your history. That should solve that. It's worked for me. Anything else on niche and keyword research? Let me just see if there's anything else that I'm going to be doing in the next little bit. I'm going to be doing a keyword stacking video. I'll probably just do it live. That'll be coming up in the next little bit. It's a thing that I learned to just slowly build your authority up on Amazon by not jumping into a niche that's going to have so many books. You want to start with niches that are going to have slightly smaller books, so you can start building up your authority there. So that's a video or a live stream that I'll be doing soon over the next, hopefully within the next 2 weeks. Get that set up. But if there's no other questions, then we'll just start wrapping things up here. Nothing? No questions? All right, everybody. Well, hey, thank you so much for hanging out with me on Sunday Family Fun Day. Oh, one question. Have you looked at K-Book Promotions? Do you want to have some webinars on it? Yeah, it's they are looking to update it. I ain't going to promote it. All of those type of tools worked so much better back in the day. But everyone's moved, like all of those people who got it going have stopped publishing, right? But D1 is working on it. They're looking at updating, and we've been talking back and forth on what updates I think should be in there that will be relevant for publishers. So I'd say hold off on purchasing it for right now, and just give it a little bit, because that's just on one of my things to say. Okay, what could be automated by using a system? So we're just we're looking into some things, but yeah. Cool. Hey, everyone, like I was saying, thanks so much for joining me today on Sunday Family Fun Day. And feel free to reach out to me on Facebook, on Instagram. And if you're ready to get started with Kindle publishing, you can, one, get my free 5-step blueprint. It's right down below. Or you can just sign up for my course and just get started today. And that makes the most sense. I have to answer these 2 questions because I don't like leaving people hanging. Do you have any advice to diversify business by opening up business risk? Yeah, Ethan, don't do that unless you have an LLC or you have another GST, like another social insurance number. Like you can't just open up another account. You have to do it the right way. So don't do it if you don't know how to do it. Jimmy, how many books are too many when you search for a keyword? 30,000 is too many books to jump into. Leave it at that, Jimmy. Thanks, everyone. We'll speak to y'all soon. Take care.